SVC Media.
Welcome to the iGaming Daily podcast, analysing the news from the betting and gaming industry all over the globe, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market.
Hello and welcome to iGaming Daily, brought to you by Optimove. Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. 56% of the EGR Power 50 personalized player experience with Optimove. If you are going to ICE, make sure to drop by the Optimove stand and mention iGaming Daily to get your free Amazon gift voucher card. I am Ivana Flynn, the Director of SEO, and I'll be hosting today's podcast. Today, we're going to talk about very actionable things. We're going to talk about the best SEO hacks we found throughout our careers. If you listen to any previous podcasts with me, you know that we talk about things like what Google is planning, what we're seeing, and how to prepare for that. This one is going to be very different. We're going through actual actionable things that you can use, tools and hacks. I am very happy to welcome to my podcast two fantastic SEOs that I had the honor to work with, both of them. Hector from William Hill 888. He was in my previous team, and Batu from my current team. So, gentlemen, please introduce yourself.
Hello. Good morning. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Hector. I'm working as a technical SEO at 888 William Hill. And basically what I do in my daily basics is to try to help my colleagues to find issues and try to fix issues and suggestions for the sites that we have.
And Batu.
So first of all, thank you for having me. My name is Batuhan. I'm working in this industry almost over 10 years, and I'm currently working as a technical SEO manager in Common Group. I'm responsible from 18 different websites in 8 different markets, and I'm responsible all execution of the Netherlands markets.
Yeah, so you hear we brought you best of the best for the technical. I wanted technical people because we want actionable things. We want you to have learnings that you can actually, after you listen to this, you can go and you can see like, okay, if I do this, is this going to help me? My #1 question is, what are the best technical SEO hacks and tricks you found through your daily career? Things that, you don't actually know when you just enter SEO, but you need to learn through doing.
Okay, I can start, Hector, if you want.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to talk about traffic retention rather than the traffic growth, because if we already have a good SEO traffic, organic SEO traffic, so we need to keep this traffic. So I would like to talk about SEO monitoring and some tricks about it. So working as an SEO expert in a huge company is like a walking on the thin ice, because there are lots of teams involved in the same project, like several different product teams, UX and the UI teams, CRO teams, performance and affiliate, and most important, the compliance teams. So every team has different sub-goals to reach the company's KPIs, and they need to do lots of development and improvement to reach their goals. In the meanwhile, as an SEO, we are trying to make sure the search engines bots still can access our websites, especially for JavaScript-heavy websites. Rendering solutions are still in the place, and all SEO-related items are not touched. So prevent jeopardizing SEO investment. We use different monitoring tools, and I highly recommend to suggest them if you are in the highly competitive niches like iGaming, and if there are lots of teams involved in the same project. So you can use the Content King app. You can monitor all SEO-related changes in the websites like canonical change, redirection, SEO title and the description, and the SEO content part. Also, you can use custom elements. And there is a little trick for you. You may set different user agents for each monitor. So if you work on a JavaScript-heavy websites, and you use the rendering solutions, I would like to suggest set the 2 different monitors. One for the JavaScript version of the website and the other one, the pre-render version. So first one, leave the default user agents of the Content King. Of course, you may need to set different user agent based on your server settings or the CDN settings. For the second one, set your user agents to get the pre-render version. In many cases, you just need to use the Google bot user agents. If you use Google's IP ranges to verify the Google bots, then also you need to whitelist Content King's IPs. In that way, you can monitor both versions of your websites and you can prevent any organic traffic loss before Google sees and index the changes. On the top of that, you can build your own SEO monitor tools with a little bit of the software development knowledge, or you can get help from your developer teams. So you can use automation tools like the Jenkins with the Google Search Console API. With this combo, you can monitor your website's web pages, fetch and index state on the Google Search Console. If you start to block Google IPs or user agents, or set your page no index, with this method, you know that immediately. You can run it at regular intervals, or you can set it to run when the new release or update is released to the website. Lastly, I would like to mention, because this is important, don't forget Google Crawler and the Google Search Console Crawler use two different user agents, Google Bot and the Google Inspection tool. When you set these automations, keep that in mind. Otherwise, you may see the different results. So this is my first trick. I think it's very, very important.
Absolutely. I mean, if you are not monitoring, you are flying blind. And when you have this much of a responsibility as 18 websites, you cannot afford to not know what's going on. So the teachable takeaways from this long speech is make sure you whitelist your Google list, right? Make sure you set up the pre-render and the original Java as a different ways of monitoring. And remember that you have got Google Inspector tool IP and Google Bot IPs when you are setting all of this. So those are the main teachable takeaways. It was a long speech, very, very full of information. So listen to it again. But those are the main things you should take away from that. And Hector, I'm sure you have some amazing tricks for us.
I like a lot what Batun say is amazing, because it's true. We sometimes we forgot how important is the retention, how the sites, we need to be aware of how the different ways of the crawlers see and the users, which is totally different. In my case, I would say that something that I would like to know before, because one of the main issues with the iGaming industry is how complex are the sites, and it's because those are created by JavaScript, and it's sometimes really, really difficult to when you try to search or crawl sites using Screaming Frog, for example. Exactly, you must configure the option to JavaScript. And you try to crawl, and even though you can't, sometimes it's necessary to make other adjustments. For example, in our case, when you try to crawl a site and you can see which is why it's not crawling or showing everything, maybe you need to set up the configuration and increase the Ajax timeout, because sometimes by default it's always 5 seconds, which is the time that Google try to crawl and render a page. But maybe it's necessary to upload it and put it instead of 5 seconds, add it 15, 20 seconds. And this is quite simple to do it. Is just go to configuration, Spider, and in the rendering tab, select the JavaScript and change the Ajax timeout. And with this, most probably you are going to crawl and render the page properly. By the way, this is for Screaming Frog. SEMrush or Ahrefs, this type of tools, is not necessary to change the timeout. But for example, other tools has this option. For example, SEO Clarity has this option. So maybe it's good to go always to the settings and try to find if there is any change that you can do and improve the rendering of the crawler.
This is an amazing tip. I mean, we see it so many times, and I've been in Betson, I've been in William Hill now. I mean, come on. And as you said, the websites are so complex. You need to adjust your tools to your website because they might just be very difficult to resolve. So this is an amazing tip and something that any SEO should keep in mind. Wow, 10 minutes into our podcast already, guys, full of tips.
Brazil, a global economic powerhouse, deeply passionate about sports, and now home to one of the hottest markets in gaming. And we're giving it the full SBC treatment. Join industry leaders, market experts, and all the major players in the country for 3 days of content, exhibition, and epic networking at the first ever SBC Summit Rio.
Now, are there any amazing tools or extensions that you cannot do without? Something you found along the way, click away, that just helps you understand where you stand with your website, where your competitors are doing better? Is there anything that you can help us make our jobs easier and better?
I mean, I would like to look at this situation from the different perspective. Again, some kind of retention or budget saving perspective. So in the nature of SEO, we use different services. We work with different providers, websites, and the webmasters, So we need to compare the prices, compare the quality of the sources, and etc. So some, how can I say it improperly? Like some providers, some agency don't want to share the prices or the sources directly, especially if they use the dashboard. They want us to use this dashboard, but also we need to calculate and compare with the different providers and the agencies to find the best prices and the best deals. So we can do it by manually copy and pasting between the dashboards, or we can copy and paste all the data to the Google Sheet or the Excel. Then we can run some formulas and find the best ones. But instead of that, it's very, very time consuming thing. Instead of that, I use Web Scraper or the ChatGPT to get the third parties data from the agencies or the providers' dashboards. So how does it work? There is a Google Chrome extension, I believe also in the Firefox extensions. There is something called Web Scraper, and it basically scrapes the websites like the Screaming Frog. But instead of Screaming Frog, I think Screaming Frog also have this feature now, but they don't have at the beginning, like the 1 year ago or the 6 months ago. I couldn't remember exactly, but with this plugin, with this extension, you can select the data on your page and you can extract them. Also, it can change and follow the pagination of the dashboards or the websites. So when you set this plugin, you can get all data from the providers and the agencies, like the domain names and the prices. I think these are enough. I don't extract the third-party data like the Ahrefs, DR, backlink count, or the referring domain count, because when I extract all of the data, I checked with the batch analysis of these kind of tools to get the latest and the refreshed data. So you can use this plugin to get all the information, and you can use some Google Sheet tricks to clear the duplications and reach the final unique list. Then you can put these lists on the batch analysis tools and get the latest data, and you can compare the prices between providers. With this method, you can find the best deals with the best quality domains.
And in a fraction of time. So this is all about automation. And for years, we're trying to put automation within our departments to make sure that if there is a trick to save your time and do the job for you, we should go this way. So please keep in mind what Batuhan just said, because it can do half of your job, cannot decide for you, but it can save a lot of time.
Also, just a little bit addition I forget to mention. I said at the beginning, you can use at the same time the ChatGPT. I mean, you can get a screenshot from the dashboard, you can paste into the ChatGPT, and you can ask to ChatGPT, like, let's say there is a 2 columns, the column A, domains, and the column B, prices, and you can ask to ChatGPT like extract column A and the B in a Google Sheet format, and it extract for you.
Oh, ChatGPT is actually very clever. When I work with ChatGPT, I write to him like, thank you for your help today. I couldn't do this without you. So yeah, I'm in love with ChatGPT. I see how it's helpful. Good. And Hector, anything from you? Any tools, extensions, or tricks you would recommend us?
I would say about, for us, it's really important, the site speed performance of the site. And the Core Web Vitals is really important. And when you try to revise a website, you can use the API from Apex Speed, etc. But this is, we need to, when we talk about site speed, we need to make a difference between live data and real user data. The live data is something that is not accurate 100%. We need to know which is the how the customers are reaching and rendering the page. So we use a tool that is called RunVision that give us information about real customer, real users, how they spend their time for downloading the page, etc., and give suggestions. That is to be honest, Lighthouse or PageSpeed is really useful, but we need to be also focused on what customers in real life they are suffering in our pages, and try to reduce as much as possible the time that they spend downloading them.
Exactly. Speed. It's all about speed, and Google keep telling us every time, if you are over 3 seconds, people might bounce. So any speed tricks, any speed optimization is more than welcome. And from my end, I would say, I'm not going to go deep and difficult like these guys, nature of my job, but I would say they are amazing plugins and amazing extensions you can use to make your life easier. For example, SEO Meta in one click. So, you just download extension, click on that, and it will give you what Google is seeing as it's being shown as meta descriptions, meta title. So you don't have to go to source. It's really, really handy. Or one of my favorite, view rendered source. And this is, if you are with Operator, this is, I don't know how you do without, right? So view rendered source. Those are two from me. And let's move on to other question. Would you like to share any other tricks that are not tools, that are not extensions, just anything that you have learned? Like, where do you take your SEO learnings? Where do you monitor latest changes? Anyone to follow that gives you insights? Anyone who inspires you, or anything else? How you find low-hanging fruits? Any of that? Would you like to share any of that is not extremely heavy technical trick and extreme technical tool?
Sure. Actually, I can suggest the communities instead of reading the blogs and the websites. I mean, they are also important and very important when Google release something, not just for SEO, for the other products. We, of course, like to follow and read the whitehead sources and all kinds of SEO or the search engine related sources. But at the same time, I believe in the communities. Like there are lots of communities in the Facebook or the custom build communities, like the Affiliate Lab from the Matt Diggity or the Detailed SEO Blueprint from Glenn Alsop. These are all good communities, and I highly suggest to join them or at least suggest to follow them on Instagram. In the Twitter or the LinkedIn, because they share lots of tips and tricks. And I think there are lots of gold nuggets in these tips and tricks.
Yes, communities are important. I actually follow SEO Roundtable for me, where I check if they're talking about any latest Google updates, what is Google releasing. Plus, you have a list of all of them happening over last year. So you can always go and check what has happened. Have you missed out of something? You can calculate how many we had in last year. I think last year was 87. And we're starting again. As well, LinkedIn. I am strong on LinkedIn. I like to share things. If I find something important, I reshare, and I read a lot because I find LinkedIn to be full of amazing SEO experts, and not just from our industry, other industries. I like to take learning outside of our industry because we're very specific and we can get stuck in something. But if you learn from people outside of our industry, maybe it will give you a little bit of new perspective. And Hector, anything from you? Doesn't have to be anything you follow, but could be, but maybe any tricks how to find low-hanging fruits, spy on competitors, anything you would like to share with us?
I like to get all the information that I can get on Twitter. There are a lot of people that they share a lot of information. For example, there are some guys that they work on SEO niche, and they try to find an industry or a topic that are trend, and they build sites, and they show how they performing. It's amazing how they can do in 1 week. They do a lot amazing work. And also I like this type of blogs that they revise after a update on Google, and how to try to investigate what happened, why is the reason, which domains go down, which go up. This is something because give you a lot of information. If there is a code update and there are specific industries that go down, gives you a lot of clues of what happened and what you need to take care. So I try to revise this type of things. Yeah.
Yes, I think we're all saying the same. Learning in SEO is continuous and very important, and checking people from outside of our industry and comparing to other industries is very important. Any last words that you would like our listeners to keep in mind or try, experiment with?
I guess you say the idea is to try, test, and see the results. It's always the same. Try and try.
Exactly. Try, fail, try, learn, try, succeed. That's SEO. I mean, that's what I like about SEO is crazy, but uncertainty, right?
Yes. Unfortunately or fortunately. I mean, I would like to suggest to follow the new AI tools, of course. AI is a reality in our industry or all other industries in the world right now. So if we can catch the train, it will live. I mean, SEO will live, of course. But if we cannot catch the train, so it will be problematic for us in the future.
Absolutely. AI is here to stay. And we should learn how to work with it, not against it, how to use it, not abuse it, and how to make our life easier with it. Thank you very much. This was extremely educational. Because of the nature of our podcast, that is not just theoretical talking, but actual actionable points, we'll be compiling this in a short article on LinkedIn with everything we mentioned, every tool, every trick, every script, so you can find it there and take more of your learnings from there. Thank you very much, podcast, for having us. And don't forget to visit Optimove in ICE. You will get your free voucher. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to today's iGaming Daily podcast, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. If you want to find out more about some of the subjects raised today, feel free to explore any of the sites in the SBC News Network or check out the latest edition of the SBC Leaders magazine. Happy reading.